Where the mighty Nile ends its journey half the length of Africa, it slows down and widens and forms a vast delta, where fishermen have lived for thousands of years, where farmers have always irrigated their land with plentiful water. Now that's changing. The Nile Delta is still a place of amazing beauty, but for the fishermen and farmers who live here, it's increasingly difficult to survive in an environment which is deteriorating. This used to be rich farmland. It's been destroyed by salinity, salt. As the sea level rises in the nearby Mediterranean, salt water infiltrates the soil from below. This man is an expert on underwater engineering. He says Egypt cannot afford to lose this land.
It is a human disaster, an economical disaster, an agricultural disaster, and maybe it will lead not only to poverty but also to hunger. You're going to induce what I call global warming or climate refugees, a new term. Climate refugees is a new term in our human culture. Climate refugees. People will have to leave this land if we don't protect it.
Next to this abandoned land is a plot that's still being used, but the farmer has to pump in fresh water to fight the rising levels of salinity. ABDEL is wondering whether he can carry on here.
In the
past, we didn't have to bring in extra water. The rainfall was enough. And today, the ground is so salty, so we also need to bring in extra bags of sand to lay on top. But these are expensive. In the old days, all we did was plant the seeds.
Egypt is trying to protect its coastline. But if the Mediterranean does rise 1 meter this century, as many experts predict, cities like Alexandria will be in trouble. Some scientists believe the sea rise will be gradual, that Egypt will have time to adapt. But if the delta is dying, it's the poor people who rely on this environment, the farmers and fishermen, who will pay the highest price. Barnaby, Phillips, Al Jazeera in the Nile Delta.